good day to do it. So I got me a jar, and this is a pickle jar. I'm going to do this jar. I'm going to leave the jar plain because it's going to be filled with candy. Makes a great thing. Let me get rid of that. Makes a great candy dispenser. Let me turn my phone down, girls, so it won't come back on. Okay. It'll be a great candy. You fill it with jelly beans for Easter, or you could fill it with something for Halloween, for Valentine's Day, keep it right on through to Halloween. But I'm going to paint this block. This is, like I said, a candle holder. I'm going to paint and decorate this. Then I'm going to glue that. I will use Gorilla Glue. I'll do that out of class. What I'll do is turn the bottle upside down, and I'll use it this way, and I'll use Gorilla Glue, and which I've used many, many times for glass. And I will glue that jar to this base. Now, on top of the jar, I have painted the lid, just painted the lid white, but I'm going to put, let me leave it on there till I show you. I'm going to put this on top of the jar so that it has a topper on it too. These are great for kids. If you're making something, you need a gift, and this is cheap. You know, it doesn't cost you. You can find any kind of little wooden block, a candle holder, anything you pick up that'll hold a jar, and your jar can be any shape, any size that you want. And you can decorate it, you know, you could decorate it for Halloween or for Easter or Valentine's. You could use it any way you want. And that's a great gift to give somebody for their kids, just to set that in the kitchen. So when I get it finished, it'll all be like this. But what I'm going to do today, this will be glued onto the lid. I'm going to paint this and paint the bottom and work on that today. So I'm going to take my lid off. And I've just set some paints down here, and I'm going to put a black stripe, a black and white stripe around the bottom here. And I'm going to show you all, when I do stripes or checks, when you do checks and stripes, you have to have a number, an even number of marks to go around. If it's 10, 12, 14, whatever, but it has to be an even number for you to get checks or stripes. Now, when I do mine, which I do lots of tea sets and lots of, you know, pieces with checks on them and have for years, but my patterns are made with cardstock. I'll take me a piece of poster paper, take it to my kitchen counter, and I measure it out. This one is 1/2 inch. So I've got them from 1/2 inch probably up to 3 inches, and all different lengths. I've just got them. And these you can bend around. If you're going around a project, you can bend around there. I've been practicing eyes, painting an eye for somebody. But you can use them in a rounded way, you know, and go around something, or you can use them up and down, any way you want to use them. And these you can keep. I just mark them when I do want to make it. This one's 1 3/4 inches. And then when I need to grab something to do a tray or do any piece I want to do with checks and stripes on them, these are what I go to. Occasionally I will have something that I have to use a tape measure on, a cloth tape measure, but this is mostly what I like to do. So I went ahead and set here and put my little marks on here, and I just lay this paper down here, and I made a little mark on each side. I made one on this side and one on this side, and I went all the way around doing that to make sure that I had the right number. I ended up with 24, and I've got 24 little lines, which you can't hardly see them. Well, you can there. But then when you're putting your lines on something, if you try to go around something and you try to make one long mark, that's hard to do. But if you hatch it, if you just put hatch marks on there, you can get it in there and get it straight. So what I do after I got my marks on there, I just take my pencil and I do little hash marks going up and going down till I get every one of those little stripes on there. And then I've got them, I'm ready to paint them. So they're just little marks going around that thing. Then I'm going to paint every other one of these with black. So then I need a good brush that's got a good flat chisel end on it. Let me show you what I've been working on today while I'm sitting here though, looking. Look here. I'm loving the waxes in these dark colors. I found this at the thrift store. And I think at one time it might have had a lid. I think that's what they call a valet for a man. But I did that today, and I love that. I love working with the waxes. The waxes are one of my favorite things to do. I did that one. And this is a cast iron. This one is very heavy. This thing probably weighs 7 or 8 pounds. And this is cast iron. I found this at a thrift store, and I painted that one today. So I did that one in a little bit of different colors, but it's got all the waxes on it. After I did the black and the colors on it, I went back and waxed it. So that will be real good for a large candle. And then I'm working on this fleur-de-lis here. I've got the base color on it. See, I've got the first coat on it, which I've got the metallic on it. This is teal and black mixed that makes this color. This is my favorite color to work with. The girls that follow me know this. I've done a ton of things in these. Then I'm going to go back and wax it, and I'll probably put some bling on this one, some beads and stuff to decorate it with. But I love working on those things. So I've got a good sharp edge brush here. And which waxes do you use? Christine, I've used I've got different ones. Some of it's Rub and Buff. Some of it is this brand I found that I like, and it is called, I'm going to spell it for you, ARTALCHEMY, Metallic Waxes, and it comes in all different colors. And you can just Google it online. I think I got this last one from Amazon. No, I believe it was from Etsy. So I've bought them from different places, but they have them. This is more in a tube like Rub and Buff is. Rub and Buff comes in a tube, and this one is called Old Denim. And you can get them in all different colors. And I like these. These have come out really good for me. And this is just called Metallic Wax. So I've got those. And then I've got some pin art. Some that are pin art in little jars. See, I've got some like these. This is wax paste. This one, let's see, I don't see what the name is. Yeah, this is a pin art wax paste. Yeah, see, this is a waxed one. This is copper. So I use different ones. I use some that are even from some Dixie Belle. I use some the Bear wax that you can get at Lowe's and all. You just have to kind of play with them and see what you like. Okay, but I'm loving working with them. I'm loving it. I've got so many things. I found a lot of lamps, little lamps and stuff, and I like painting that. And it's not hard. You're just putting the colors on and then waxing them. And then if you want to put the beads and things on them, you know, to decorate them up with a bling, you can do that. Spray paint the items black first before the wax. No, Debbie, I start with white. I spray everything white before I start. You got to have a sealer on it. And a lot of people use Slick Stick, or there's a sealer, Pin Art's got one. I forgot what it's called. I've never tried that. But white spray paint works for me. And it's Rust-Oleum's 2-in-1. I'm looking at a can over here. Rust-Oleum's 2-in-1 matte finish. And it's the 2-in-1 means it's the primer and the paint all in one container. And I buy that from Home Depot. And I order it, even though I live 2 miles from Home Depot, I order it because I order it by the case. So I buy that, and I buy the Rust-Oleum's varnish. If I'm going to spray something and want to spray varnish it, I use that too. Can I show us how to use the waxes one day? Yes, ma'am. Yes, I will, Flo. I'll show you that. I'll do a piece and show you. I've just got so much. You can see my room. My room is crowded. My little workroom here is small. And, you know, when I was in West Virginia, I had a big studio. And I sure miss that. But this little room is small. And right now I've got it jammed full because I've been painting rabbits and doing things. And I can't, my phone won't stop ringing. I'm going to turn it off. So, can't do that. Okay. You got some Josanya sealer. Lorraine, I used that yesterday on a piece. It's the all-purpose sealer. What did I put it on? I put it on... Oh, I put it on this. Before I painted this, this was, can't see the color because it's got felt on the bottom. But I used that all-purpose sealer and put a coat on this. I didn't paint this because I like to spray paint and I didn't want to get the paint inside. So I used the sealer on this, and it goes on. When you're first brushing it on, it looks kind of white, and then it dries clear. And that's this, girls, that's this. This is one of the Josanya products. I love her products. They're by Chromium. And this one is called All-Purpose Sealer. So it comes in these big bottles. And you may can find it on Amazon. But most of the time when I buy her products, I buy them from dickblick.com. And they are an art dealer. They sell all kinds of art supplies. So you can get her products from them. Because when I buy the varnish, I buy a case. So I don't, you know, I don't want to buy just one can. her things are not cheap, just like everything else, but any craft you do is not, is not cheap to do. Converting the basement into a walk-in closet so I can have more stuff. Yeah. Well, I've got an outbuilding. I've got a storage room on my back porch. I got to get busy painting this, so maybe I can talk and paint at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and put these black stripes in here. I'm going to paint every other one with the black. I have a room built on my back porch. This one's on my front porch because my house here is small. So I built a room, had my husband build me a long room on the back porch. It's only about 8 foot wide, but it's about 25 foot long. And that's my stock room where I put everything that's ready to ship, because anything I put on Etsy, I have it already ready to go before I put it on there. And then I've got an outbuilding out back, a big storage building, and it's probably 14 by 16, something like that. It's full of junk too. So we've got it everywhere. We've got the carports full of bottles, so it's everywhere. Girls, I gotta answer that. That's my granddaughter. Miranda, I can't talk. I'm in class.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. She'll keep calling me. That's my oldest granddaughter. Okay, I'm gonna go right on around. I'm gonna do every other stripe with the black, because we only have 45 minutes here, so you'll have to join me for a class. I'll answer all your questions if we're working in a class where it's on my time. That's a lot easier to do than it is to answer your questions, but I will do a project with you for the waxes. We've been playing with that and the clay things in my private group, so I'm playing with them to learn some stuff. But I went to Home Goods yesterday. I found some really nice rabbits at Home Goods yesterday. Some really neat ones to paint on. So I'm going to be painting a few more of them. And I've been painting rabbits, trying to get them into my shop, because I do them for Easter time. But you can always shoot me a question, send me a question. Walmart has the Rust-Oleum paint. Flo, they do, but I think you'll get a better price. Well, I haven't bought any from Walmart in a long time, so I won't say that for sure. Because it's, I know they have it at Hobby Lobby, but it's a lot more expensive. It's like $7 or $8 a can at Hobby Lobby. And I think Home Depot, it's about $5 something. I can't remember. But I use a lot of it. I like to spray paint about everything that needs a base coat. I start with that spray paint and spray it white. See, I'm just working my way right around through there with those stripes. We need to try to get it done, so I'm going to have to shut my mouth and keep my hands busy. Okay, I'm going to work back and forth so I won't get into one that's wet. If you let the flat of your brush, breathing is expensive anymore. Yes, ma'am, it is. It's really awful how things have done. And with all of COVID and stuff, it just went up worse. And it's not going to go back down. It's there that's the sad thing. It's like a post office, raises prices on us, and say Christmas we're going to raise prices, and it's only going to be for Christmas. Well, it don't go away. It stays that way. So you just have to learn to deal with it. This was I bought this piece at like I said, at Hobby Lobby, over in the candle, where the candle section is. And I bought it to put a candle on, and then I thought, well, this will go good with that jar. So you can find them when they're on sale. I think this one was about $15 for this little chunk of wood, and then you got it half price, so I still paid $6 or $7 for it. But Home Goods yesterday, I found some real pretty, I hadn't been to Home Goods in a while, and I found some real pretty bottles with the stoppers in the top of them to do. I should have left that tray out here. That tray we done the other night with the roses on it, I got that finished and ready to go. So I took it in the house, though, and I don't have it out here in the shop. You paint birdhouses. paint gourds. Yeah, if you grow your own gourds, that's a good thing. But boy, if you try to buy them, I have a friend who likes to paint on gourds, and she bought them, but the shipping is what kills you. The gourds weren't expensive, but because they had to go in such a large box to ship them, the shipping was outrageous for her to get gourds. So she made a special trip up in Ohio to pick them up. I painted on gourds some years ago, but not very many. Okay. Watching replay. Joyce, oh, watch a replay. Okay. It's funny, girls, how all of us that are presenters, you look up and you see what somebody's put in there and you automatically read it out loud. So that's funny. You're sitting here reading something out loud and everybody's listening to you. You see, I paint with my little finger. My little finger guides that brush, and that's what keeps that brush straight, going straight down through there. You can let that brush, you got a good flat brush, you can let that brush work for you. If you're doing stripes, don't ever try to do them this way. Always do them straight up and down. In the same way when you're doing checks, do your outsides first and then offload in the middle. But the less paint you have on with the way I paint them, the less paint I have on my brush, the better I like it. That brush has got a couple of wild hairs. So I need to get me some scissors and clip it off. We'll get as far as we can with this thing today. We've only got 45 minutes. That's what's hard. When you do classes, you know, you work in here and you got 45 minutes, that's hard to stay on time and to be able to chat too. You don't get to chat very much. And it's hard to get a project done in just 45 minutes. That gives everybody a chance. So, hi and welcome, Cindy. Oh, thank you, Sybil. I appreciate that. If you're new, girls, I hope you'll follow along and come back and join us. Like I said, I've gained about 2,000 followers since 1st of January. And last year I took some time and I did a craft show. So from July to after October, I wasn't online very much because I've done a craft show. It lasted 18 days and I had to get ready for it. So, but now I'm back in the swing and I hope to be on here on a regular basis now. Of course, we have a private group if you're interested in joining that. And we're in there once a week, and we do I have a lot of designs. There's a lot of designs in there. I give them free printables, so there's a lot in there already in there to use. Okay, now I've went all the way around that with the thing. Now I'm going to jump up here and paint this next one, this next little section. I'm just going to do it in stripes and dots and stuff, you know, just a little mix of stuff, so it's really quick. So I'm going to do that next one. I'm going to use this, this is Ceramcoat's Antique Gold. You choose your colors. Hi from Canada, glad to have you in. I'm going to paint this one all the way around, so I'm going to just use me a little bigger brush, and I'm just going to go around here and paint this in. You could choose whatever colors you want. And if you wanted to set it in your kitchen or somewhere for your grandkids or whatever, you could choose the colors that you use in your decor. And you can use all different sizes of jars and vases. And that little topper is I got it in the wood section at Hobby Lobby, and they're really made for legs. I don't remember if I bought them individually or they was in a package. But they are just finials that you can put them upside, put them up the other way. I turned it to just put it on that thing, but you can put it on a box or something and make a leg out of it. Okay, just going around and paint that in. I'll wait till I get it all done and varnished before I glue it. Well, no, I'll put it together. The gluing, I will glue the top on the lid before varnish it. You don't want to try to glue into varnish, so I won't put any seal or any varnish on here. I appreciate all of you girls. I hope I'm teaching you something. I love to teach. I've done that for as many years as I've painted. And I apologize because every time you come into class, I teach like everybody's a beginner. If you're in a class where we see each other all the time, then you don't have to do that. But if you have new people, like in here, you have new people come visit you each week, then everything you do, you got to explain it over and over and over again. Okay, got that color on. Now I'm going to jump up there to the next section and paint that one. Thank you, Vicki. I appreciate that. I've done a little bit of all kinds of crafts, girls. Macrame was a big thing when I had my shop years ago. I learned macrame. We did everything from Christmas ornaments. I going through my outbuilding last year cleaning out stuff for a yard sale, and I found a whole box of macrame Christmas ornaments. Here's made and had put them on a merry-go-round thing like to go to hang. So I had them. So we used to make everything with macrame from tables to handbags when we done macrame. Now I'm going to paint this next section up here with this dark blue. I got me a little bigger brush so I won't have to work so hard. Some colors have to have two coats, and that gold will have to have a second coat on it. See, just getting on. Hey, Debbie. You can always watch a replay, girls. That's a good thing. There's all kinds of videos in here, down in the sections where you can, where you can go back and watch some. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good because they were made so long ago that they're not so good. When you first start doing videos, it's hard, and you're so uncomfortable coming in here, and it's just hard. And then last summer, I had my teeth worked on, and I was without my teeth for about a month or so. So some of them I've got teeth gone. Okay. So many things you want to do, and you just kind of run out of time. Okay. Always learn. Yes, you can. If you quit learning, girls, it's a sad world when you quit learning, regardless of what it is. As long as you live, you learn. Keeps your mind sharp, and if you're cooking and you learn new recipes, or you're a knitter and you like to knit, and you can always learn new stuff. And anybody that gets to the point where they think they don't need to learn anymore, they know it all, then it's sad. And then crafts change. The crafts that we done, last year, even the style of what we're painting and the style of decoupage, see, it changes by the year. Every year we have new stuff, new products come out, and new things to do, new ways to use old products. So, and then they get shared around. Everybody will teach you something. Everybody you watch will teach you a little bit of something. And if you are a crafter yourself, you just kind of incorporate that into what you do, and you have your own things then. Your own style of what you do. Received your bottles today, Wanda. You have to show us what you do with them now when you get them done. Boy, packing them bottles was a pain in the butt. I didn't like that. Packing glass like that is, it's hard to, you got to make sure. I shipped a teapot last week, $150 teapot, and the leg got broke off of it. So, you know, that happens. They're so rough on your packages. And no matter how hard you know, how much you try, you get things get broke and get done. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and paint this little thing here, this little rim around here, paint it blue. I'm not going to put any paint up on it. This was already black in that bottom there, so I didn't put anything. Hey, Peggy, glad to see you. I've got some candy videos in here. I don't have, this time of year, you know, after Easter, chocolate's not really, it's a lot harder to get, good chocolate is, and work with after Easter because sometimes it won't melt on you. So I've got some chocolate left, and I thought, well, I'll make malacups because I've had people ask about those. And I've done some videos for chocolate-covered cherries and other things, so. The only thing is, I don't usually work in the house because my husband is on oxygen and our machines go all the time. So that we just have to contend with when I go in there Friday in my kitchen to work. We just have to contend, put up with the sound being a little off. Okay. So happy to catch you live. Thank you. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back and put another coat on that gold. One more coat of paint on that. Oh. The things with the beading, everything, the bling is all a big thing this year, and the waxes and stuff are. So that's, you know, you could fancy these things up with beading and stuff on them. I saw one done, that candy corn we get at Halloween, and I can't stand that stuff, but it was so pretty in that, the way they'd done the jar and then they had it filled with candy corn. But you could put anything from the little candy bars to loose candies in it. Okay, now I'm going to let that one dry a little bit. I've got those 3 colors on there. I'm going to let that one dry a little bit and jump over here and work on this one a little bit. So I'm going to do the same with the colors. I'm just going to jump up and down this thing with different colors. Just kind of make it like a rainbow. I paint on a wet palette, girls, if you don't, and I have a water basin, a paint regular artist water basin that I like. This is kind of a purple, it's called plum. I'm going to use a little bit of this. See how it looks. So I'm going to start with the middle one, and I'm going to use this plum on this middle one. Hopefully we'll get it painted, and then I'll have to finish it and then show you what it's like. But you get the, you know, the idea of what we're doing. Because it's just going to be checks and dots, you know, polka dots, nothing that's any complicated to it. So you will be able to do it real easy. You can glue the jars too. You can get those little glass candle holders at the Dollar Tree, and you can glue those underneath a glass jar. Glue glass to glass, but Gorilla Glue is what's always worked for me. I've done a lot of things in the past. We've done a lot of lamps and stuff. We buy old lamps. Bought out an estate one time, Daryl and I did, up in Ohio, and this old man was a hoarder. And we cleaned out that estate. We found 150 lamps in his basement. I bet you we got 500 lamps out of that one house by the time we was done. We spent a month cleaning out that house. It's a long story. Some of you I've told it to, and some of you I haven't. So we worked with that stuff we loaded an 18-wheeler, truck, box truck. My brother has truck driving business, and we loaded his 18-wheeler box truck and pulled our travel trailer, our pool trailer, 16-foot home 4 times out of one little house. Of everything you could imagine. And took us years to sell it all, to get it sold and cleaned, glassware and lamps. So we did lamps. We made bird feeders. We made everything out of lamp pieces. My husband's been in the craft business with me since 1998. Okay, got that one on. And he's no longer able to work, so I'm doing okay. You're asking Miss Sybil. Oh, you girls may know that Sybil. A lot of them, they know. You girls do know each other. That's good. Okay, I'm going to decide whether I do that one again. Do that. Let me get it back over here, because I may put a ledge on that and I may just leave it white. Okay, now I'm going to go down here and paint this gold on the bottom. Right here. I've been thinking about having an auction. So I'm going to decide, and if I do, I'm going to have my first one probably the end of February. I'd like to start doing that, but I just don't know if I've got the space, the place to do it and get it done. I ship all the time anyway. I ship stuff daily, so that's no problem, but I may have an auction. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that, girls. I appreciate all of you. I'm terrible with remembering names, girls, and remembering things. So if you've been in here with me a long time and I miss you, I'm sorry. But that's never been a thing with me. It's so funny. In church, people I've been in church with for 10 years, and I still can't call them by name. And I tell them that from the beginning. Names float right over my head, and it's been that way all my life, and that's sad, and it's embarrassing. Very, very embarrassing a lot of times. Now I need me a color to go in between that one. I'm going to put this blue up here. We had a pastor come to our church, and his wife, she never forgot nobody's name. She could line you up, and you could, one day we was in the ladies' aid, and she could line you up around the wall, and you tell her your name one time, and she never forget your name. And I told her, I said, I don't know how on earth you do that, because I can't do it. Okay. Wish you could afford. Well, if I have an auction, you probably can, Christine. I got a ton of inventory, girls, in my outbuilding that I need. I used to do shows all the time, and then COVID hit, so I've still got a lot of stuff that I need to go. I need to get rid of it. So I'm sure I'll have something you can afford. If I do that, we'll have an auction, and then we'll have a lot of buy it now things. Just, one price. Because I've got a lot of bottles that's been finished, a lot of things. And when I was doing shows, when I done things, I'd do a dozen. I'd sit down and do a dozen of the same thing. Then when I quit doing the shows, it's not, you end up with some of them left. Okay, I've got 3 colors on that one. I'm going to go back. Laureen, that's me. I remember faces. I remember faces, but I never remember names. And I was in business, my shop for 12 years, and had ladies come into my shop weekly basis. And I just tell them, I'd say, girls, I'm sorry, names just float right over my head, but I knew their faces. And sometimes somebody's standing talking to you, like at church, and it's so embarrassing because you're standing there thinking and talking and having a discussion, and you're thinking in your mind, don't know their name, and that's just so, but it's just a thing. This one's just going to be like the colors of just a clown, all different colors. But you could make it in a certain theme if you wanted to, like all black and white. I love doing the check stuff, and I love the black and white things. I like black, period. I like doing lots of things in black. I think that's why I like that working with the waxes so much, because I like doing the darker colors better than I like the lighter shades, the lighter things. Oh yeah, we have new Buc-ee's here. I live about a mile from Buc-ee's, girls, and it's been open almost a year probably, and I've not even been in there. My kids have been out there, but I've not. We went to Buc-ee's last summer. My girls and I traveled to Florida, went to Florida on vacation, and we went to Buc-ee's in Georgia. And it's, Buc-ee's to me is like a glorified service station. We stopped there and got something to eat, and also I've not even been in theirs, and it's just about a mile from my house. One of these days I will. Now that the tourists are gone, which our area, I live in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge area, so tourist is our life here, is our, people's livelihood. So you can't complain because we have tourists all the time. But then in the winter time, when it slows down, that's the good time for us, because then you can go to the places and eat. You can go out to all the nicer restaurants and eat in the restaurants, or you can get into town without having to, go to Knoxville to get something, because you can get into town easier. So we enjoy the winters here. You really enjoy, because now the weekends, it still gets heavier in the weekends, and then when the weather is warm, it starts back up about, probably about March or April. They start with the car show, so every weekend is a car show, and that brings in thousands and thousands of people for all the different car shows they have. They even close our schools on Friday when we have car shows come into town. They close the schools early on Friday, because it's so hectic even for the buses to get through. But it's a good place to live, and it's convenient. You can enjoy, you can do all the tourist things if you want to, and it gives everybody a job. You'd be in heaven if you lived a mile from Buc-ee's. Donna, what do you like about Buc-ee's? I live a mile from Buc-ee's. I live about 2 miles from Hobby Lobby, and Hobby Lobby, Ross, and Gabe's, and Home Goods. It's all in the same complex here, and it's about 2 miles from the house. So it's convenient. Everything's convenient. Only thing I don't have is a Michael's, and you have to go to Knoxville. You have to go over into Knoxville to go to Michael's. So I don't do that very often, because it's way far out the other end of Knoxville. But now everything else is convenient, and any kind of food you want to eat, you can go any kind of restaurant. Maddie works at Dollywood in the summer, and somebody came in to her and told her about a thing. Girls, I got 5 minutes. We're not going to get this done. But you know what I'm doing, and I've enjoyed talking to you, and I will finish it and then show you a picture of it when it's finished. I started to say Maddie was in... somebody came into their business there and was telling her about a new restaurant in town. It was a pizza place, and it was a gosh, I forgot what it's called. Anyway, it was authentic, and all. But it's a pizza place where everything is, you pay one price and they serve you a 7 or 8 course meal, and everything is some kind of pizza, even the desserts. And boy, it was interesting. The girls and I went, and the food was amazing, and it was good. and it was fun. They started, as soon as you sat down at your table, they brought you appetizers, they brought you meatballs, and your drinks, your drink and stuff. And then from there, they couldn't keep you busy enough. They was back and forth, and it was eat all you want. And it was just $25 a person, so it was good all the way around. So we have all kinds of places, you know, good places to eat around here, anything you want to eat. I've watched many crafters over the years. So far, you're my favorite, Deborah. Thank you very much. We got a lot of good crafters, girls. But you know what? There's so many on here now. You find them. You know, it takes you a while sometimes to find one that you thoroughly enjoy. Maddie's at the door. Almost got the color on. We just got a couple more minutes. So come in, you know. I'll be on, let's see, tomorrow's Thursday. And I'll be on Friday with Craft Around the Clock. So if I'm not back on here in the group before, I'll be on here Monday. I'll be back in here Monday night. I'll come back in and we'll paint in a regular class or do a project. And that way we can chat more and have more time. Do you show this? Can you show the striper brush, please? Now, the striper is long-haired. See if I got one laying here. When you go into the store to buy a brush, just look for the ones with the real long bristles on them, and I don't see mine handy, girls. Yeah, here's one. See this, how long it is? You can't hardly see that. I don't have anything. Let me put it up, see if you can see it on this. Okay, there you go. See how long that brush is? And it's as thin as it can be. And when you use it, you load it flat and then roll it to a point, and then you stand it straight up on its edge to use that. Remind me when we're in the next class, and I'll show you how to do that, girls. That's a good brush for thing, and your fingers do the controls on. Okay? I hope you've had a good class, because I've not taught you very much, not done much with you, but I've enjoyed all of you coming along with me, and we're going to have to get out of here because Tracy's got another lady coming right in behind me. You all have a blessed day, and come back. I'll be back in here. If not before, I'll be back in here Monday night with you. Okay? Thank you, girls. I'm out of here.